my people. My people, what's going on? Happy Saturday. It's your boy, Professor Ill Will, your trainer's trainer, your coach's coach, William Taylor, CEO of New Wave Coaching. What is going on? My wellness warriors. Good to see y'all in here, man. Good to see y'all tapping in. I'm wishing y'all wealth and health, prosperity. And I hope y'all having an awesome weekend, man. Enjoying getting work done, staying disciplined. 2023. Did you know that 50% of people have already given up on their New Year's resolutions? 50%. I hope that's not you. I hope you're staying resoluted up. I hope you're staying fired up. I hope you're staying motivated. And most importantly, staying consistent, man, because motivation is a lie. But consistency, nothing trumps perseverance. So if you keep going, something's going to happen. You know, in life, all we have is time and energy. You know what I'm saying? Time and energy. That's all you really have. We think money, we think materials, but when it comes down to it, you got your body and you have time and energy. That's all life is made up of. So make sure that you're optimizing. And that's what we're about to do on this podcast, man. We're going to optimize health, optimize mindset, optimize physicality. And I just want y'all to tap in. We're going to do a live fitness and nutrition, live fitness nutrition questions, Q&A. I got answers. Y'all got questions, hopefully, man. If not, I got a little bit of a curriculum that I can put you guys through. Can we drop some ones in the chat, man, to make sure that you guys can hear me? Can we put like a 1? Can you type 1 in comments? Type a 1 in the comments, man. Go ahead. If y'all can hear me, man. If not, turn it off and this off. This might help. Type a 1 if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Because I need to know that y'all can hear me before I start spitting the gospel, bro. Before I start telling you these truths. So, this is the second episode of the New Wave Health Optimization Podcast. Episode 1 was amazing. I dropped knowledge. I dropped facts. We talked about mindset, gut health, fasting, cold showers, breathing, and how breathing is the key to fat loss. But that mindset was gems. So if you would like to listen to that podcast, drop a link, comment below, and I can get you in the group and you can see that that podcast. I'll get you in my private Facebook group. But other than that, I would like to continue off what I left off of on last podcast, because I had some gems that I wanted to continue to drop. We already talked about gut health, fasting, cold showers, and how breathing is the key to fat loss. But I also wanted to continue on with why breathing is the key to fat loss. And honestly, let me get my shit, man. Let me get my show notes real quick, man. What did I do? Did I? Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Wait. Here we go. I got the sauce, man. All right. I got the sauce for y'all right here, man. No worries. So, and then by the way, man, if y'all got any questions, send it in the chat. We're going to talk about health, diets, nutrition. There's a lot of new information coming out, and we're gonna disrupt some of the, what could I say, disrupt some of the incongruences in the fitness and nutrition space. How can I say that? some of the separators rather, So yeah, I can get into that right now, honestly. In the nutrition space, this is the only problem, it's you really got to understand that there's a lot of division, and it's sad to see because all these health groups, all these diets, the whole goal is to help you feel better as an individual and upgrade your health as an individual and just turn you into the best version of yourself by increasing your health, by eating healthy foods, by eating the right things so you can raise your state and just get into a good elevated mood, whatever it's going to be, losing weight, anti-cancer, anti-aging properties that a lot of these diets do potentially have, but the overall goal is getting squandered out by the separation amongst the groups and the dogmatism amongst the different diets. So I think that the best way that we can overcome this together is to kind of drop your dogmatism and kind of understand that your truth might not be your truth. It might just be your truth. Or your truth might not be the truth. How can I say that? Your truth on something, on a particular topic, or maybe the information that you have learned or grown up to know, it might not be the truth. And then to constantly always question everything. You always want to question everything. Don't just say, this truth is something I know and I'm just going to stick to this. This is all my guns and I know this to be so true forever. This is the bottom line, because that kind of stops you from growing. If you believe something to be true and you don't question it at all, and then an opposite narrative comes along and you're like, nah, that's not right. I'm just going to stick with my truth. You might be missing out on something on the other side if you say, hey, well, maybe this certain thing that I thought was bad isn't bad, or maybe this certain thing that I thought was good isn't good, and to constantly question your own beliefs, and I'd like to just honestly take a martial artist philosophy to everything in life. Bruce Lee, I think he said, this was one of his quotes, he said, a fool, or how could I say, a fool thinks that he knows everything. A wise man thinks that he knows nothing. A fool thinks that he knows everything. A wise man thinks that he knows nothing. So even myself as a coach, as an educator, I have had to come to terms and kind of like drop the narratives on these things that I know to be true. Or maybe I understand like, yeah, this is good. Some things depend. It might depend on the person or the individual. But to always come and question that thing, like one thing for me was like intermittent fasting. You think like, at first I was just thinking like, intermittent fasting is the best thing that you should do, everybody should do. That might not necessarily be true. Times for me even, I've been fasting and I said, you know what? Maybe I have to question this. Maybe fasting might not be so good for me right now in the situation that I'm in. Maybe I need to eat food, So, bottom line, don't get confused with the different messages that you might see in the fitness industry, in the nutrition area, and understand that it's all encompassing. It's one thing, and the goal is to increase your health. The goal is to try things to increase your health. Some people have their different approaches to things. But for the most part, these diets, they all follow one thing, which is to restrict you from something. So cutting out something, getting rid of something, and having the right things. So that's just one thing. And then just to always question everything. That's all I can say. Question if you're a certain belief and you're dogmatized to the certain way of eating or a certain maybe a religion or a certain way of being, question that belief. Where did it come from? Is it true? And just question it. Maybe it's not true. and give it a chance. So, yeah, man, like I said, if y'all got any questions about nutrition, about working out, what kind of workouts to do, how to lose body fat, how to gain muscle, feel free to ask. But otherwise, I would like to get back into the topic that I left off on last week, which was breathing. Breathing. And why you're not breathing right, probably. And this is something interesting that I learned in my youth, but most people don't actually breathe how they're supposed to breathe. Which is like common sense, kind of. But it's like it gets lost in the minutia. There's so many other things going on that we have neglected the basics, which is breathing and how to breathe. I learned this, I think I was like 16, 17 in high school. My boy Jared, now if y'all around my age, y'all know like technology, we've seen it evolve. We've seen technology evolve. So at first I was like 16. I might have had like the Nokia phone, like the little flip phone, I think. I forget the names of all them phones, man. But the brick with the chirp, Boost Mobile. And then, we had computers. There was like bulky computers. We had probably we saw the PS1, PS2. It was around PS2 time, PS3. But anyways, my boy Jared, he knew this guy. And somehow this guy had got a copy. He had like all of Bruce Lee's books. And Jared knew I was a big Bruce Lee fan, whatever, had the poster. And, I just talk about Bruce Lee, whatever. So he was like, bro, you want these books from Bruce Lee. Now at the time, you can't really get books. I can only find books at the local library. There's no internet really. For me, at least. Maybe I didn't have a computer or whatever. Maybe I had a computer with no internet. I think that's what it was. I had a computer but no internet. So we had the USB drives. I gave him my USB drive, I think, or maybe he gave me one, and he put all these books of Bruce Lee's martial arts, philosophy, teaching, and all this stuff. I started reading the stuff, started practicing the moves and whatnot. But I got a lot from that reading. And one of the main things that Bruce Lee would teach inside of his reading, one of the things that I learned and understood, and it helped me a lot at the time, I kind of forgot about it, was how to breathe the right way. So most people, we take short chest breaths. We're breathing really sharp and really short just into the breath most of the time, and you don't even realize it. But what he taught in that book was to actually breathe by using your diaphragm. So by breathing into your belly first, fill the belly, and then the chest, and then out through the chest, and then out through the belly. To the chest, out through the belly. And then you breathe like that, which if you don't do normally is counterintuitive, because I never had breathed like that before I had read that book. I just would breathe however autonomously. But once I started tapping in, taking these nice diaphragmatic breaths, filling the whole body, the stomach, and then the lungs, and then exhale through the lungs, and then out through the belly. Even if you try it, just try it. Take one of those nice big breaths. It brings you to a very relaxed, parasympathetic state, which you didn't know at the time. I didn't know parasympathetic. You got sympathetic, which is like fast-paced, adrenaline, coffee, excited, kind of. You're in a fight. You're tense. That's how most people can't fight either, because they don't breathe. Even me, I need to work on it still. Breathing's very tough in a fight because you might get hit and then you start to panic. So being able to breathe really helps you as a martial artist, helps you in all areas of your life. But not only that, it's going to calm you, which is good to be calm. and live a stress-free life, man. If you're stressing about some bullshit right now, just take a deep breath and say everything's going to be all right, because it is. Just relax a bit. So, and then to practice this breathing, try to practice this breathing just as you breathe throughout the day. And what I found is I practice this. At first it was counterintuitive, but the more I do it, more I did it, and the more I brought it to my attention as I just went throughout the day. Kind of started first just kind of like breathing, and then I tried to bring that with me throughout the day. I might get into a situation or something, I just say, just breathe, come back to your breathing. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be breathing like this all the time. And eventually what happened was I automatically began to breathe like that. So that was really interesting. And I found a huge boost in my performance. This was me 17, 18, nice deep breaths, breathing the right way, how most people don't breathe. Nice diaphragmatic breaths. I found that when it came to I go for a run, I could run forever. It felt like, to me, I was pretty young at the time. You know, when you're 17, you gotta let testosterone. I'm growing. I could run forever, it felt like. And basketball, I wouldn't get tired. So that really helped me. I've been trying to tap back into it. It's been years, honestly, since I think I do it pretty well now, but I don't think I did it as well as when I was 17 and kind of paying attention to it more. But this is even a reminder for me. I'm going to watch this too, and it's going to be a reminder for me. Breathe the right way, and you're going to get that boost of performance. You're going to feel good. You're going to alleviate your stress. You want to live a stress-free life, because stress is honestly a killer, man. You don't want to be stressed out, because stress is going to mess with your DNA. That's going to stress you out. You're going to have more cortisol. It's going to be harder to lose body fat. This could be a reason why, if you are exercising, you're not losing body fat, or you possibly not gaining muscle. Maybe, you know, if you're stressed out and you're not breathing the right way, that's going to produce your testosterone. It's going to produce more cortisol. Cortisol is catabolic. That's going to break you down. That's going to stress you out. You might not be able to see gains if you're stressed out. You might not be able to lose fat if you're stressed out. What's up, family? I see you, Jasmine. Thank you for tuning in. Ask me some questions, man. My boy Alex Boyntonot, you was there. We was back in high school, bro. We was on the team. We was crushing them for the Raiders. Raider Nation. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, back to what I was talking about. Breathing. Breathe in through the belly, into the chest, out through the chest, out through the belly. Nice, full, deep breaths. There's lots of breathing practices that you can do. And now I'd like to relate to why breathing is how you lose body fat. Strangely enough, I learned this in school. It sounds crazy, but I learned this in school. I used to think you lost body fat by sweating. You burnt it. You shat it out, whatever. You I don't know if I can shit shit on whatever. You shit it out, whatever. Fuck it. Or you pee it out or whatever. But how you actually lose body fat is burnt through the process of carbon dioxide. When you breathe out, that's actually that's carbon dioxide. That's whatever my body's burning, I'm breathing it out right there. So this is why breathing is super important. And by breathing more, you're going to feel better. You're going to burn off all that stuff. Maybe you're eating bad food, whatever. You're going to burn all that stuff off a lot more efficiently if you're breathing correctly. And this is why you'll see there's something called EPOC. It's called exercise post oxygenation. What is it? Now we got to go back to school, man. Exercise, or is it Exercise post oxygenation consumption. I think so. Exercise post or exercise post oxygen consumption. And what happens is basically once you exercise throughout the day, you've oxygenated your body. You've breathed a lot of oxygen into your body, and you oxygenated your muscles. That's why when you work out, oxygen goes to your muscles. That's what's going to fuel the workout. So once you've done that, they'll say like, yeah, you'll burn more calories after you exercise or throughout the whole day. Say like there's two people, one person exercised early in the morning, one person didn't exercise at all. The person who exercised, even after that exercise or not counting that exercise session, he's going to burn more calories than this other person who didn't exercise because they're breathing more. So breathing is super important for detoxification. Make sure that you're breathing the right way. And you don't think about it. The lungs are the key to detoxification of the body. So it's very important to take care of your lungs. If you guys are smoking shit, doing drugs, don't do that shit, man. Don't smoke the vapes and all that. Putting weird shit into your lungs is not going to go well. It's going to clog up it's going to clog up one of your main detoxification sources, which is your lungs. So breathe air. Breathe air, my friends. Yes. So yeah, that is breathing and how it's the key for fat loss. And not only that, the key for health, stress reduction, body fat reduction. It could potentially help you get gains. One thing for sure, having a breathing practice in your day is not going to hurt you at all. It's going to make your life better. So whether that's breath work, you can just do some breathing, breath work like meditation. There's lots of different methods. I'm sure you guys have heard maybe of Wim Hof method, the Iceman. He jumps into the snow, into the ice, into the rivers cold, and it's a lot of breath work, and it's really good for you, really good for your mental health. So breathing, oxygenation, getting fresh oxygen. Go for a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? Get some fresh air. Go for a run outside. Go for a run around the block. Get some fresh oxygen. And breathing the right way. All right, so any questions, man? Do you guys have any questions? I see y'all in here. What's up? Prezi Pat, Jay Beckler, Jose, Sully, my boy Rise Arts. Tapping in, man. Other than that, all right, word, Bird. Alex, thank you, bro. He says, you're doing a good job. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. Much love. Right back at you, my G. Appreciate you, man. So, look, all right. Moving on to the next question. If you guys have questions, feel free to let me know. But moving on to the next topic. Inflammation. Let's see how much time we got. All right, inflammation, man. Let's make this one quick. Inflammation. Now, this is crazy. Don't quote me on this. I heard this, but it made sense. Inflammation. First of all, inflammation is where all disease and sickness begins. Inflammation of the body. And also obesity is inflammation of the body. Obesity is inflammation of the body. That sounds crazy. But check me out. So, and inflammation, we'll start with the inflammation and sickness. So inflammation of your joints. A lot of people have joint pain. A lot of people have brain fog. A lot of people have a lot of issues. And a lot of times hypertension, it stems from inflammation. Diabetes is going to stem from inflammation. So inflammation is like a source of damage. It means that some source of damage has happened. So your body inflames to protect itself. It's a protection mechanism. If you've ever sprained your ankle, it swells up. It inflames. It gets red hot. The blood traffics there. So that's the process, and that's the start of the healing process, inflammation. So that's, you'll see, like if you work out, for example, there's a good type of inflammation too. You'll work out, you'll inflame your muscles. It's a response. It's a natural human response. Some sort of damage has happened. The muscle tissue inflames. From there, it starts to heal. It starts to regenerate. That's a process of it. So what happens is, if there's foods in your diet that are inflaming you, your body's going to become inflamed because your body's eating this food. Maybe it's a harmful substance. Maybe it's some drugs. Something's causing inflammation. Some things are anti-inflammatory, but we'll get into that too. Some things will inflame your body that you eat, and you'll have a response to it. You'll see it with allergies. If someone smells something and it's wrong, it doesn't balance out for their system, they become inflamed. Their sinuses swell up. Their throat starts to close. So that's your body's protection mechanism. And if you're eating foods that are inflaming you, your body's going to go into a protection mechanism. It's going to create inflammation. So naturally, that's why I say even naturally, inflammation is a response that happens. Say you're working out. A lot of things become inflamed as you go throughout your day. You wake up, you have zero inflammation. You go through your day, you do some working out, the inflammation begins to grow. You do some brain work, you do some cognitive tasks, you go to work, you type the numbers out, whatever. You write the letters, whatever you guys doing for work. Physicality, do some physical work. Your brain becomes inflamed. This fluid builds up in your brain. As you sleep at night, that inflammation resets. The body gets rid of the inflammation, comes back to zero. That's why sleep is super important. Because if you're skipping sleep, you're skipping your recovery cycle. Tonight or last night, I kind of only got 5 hours of sleep. I kind of fucked up. So make sure you guys sleep. I'm going to sleep tonight. But sleep is super important for your brain health, super important for your recovery process. Because if you're not sleeping, you're still going to wake up with tons of inflammation. That's why a lot of people go to sleep. Maybe you don't sleep enough. You wake up, you're cloudy. You have this inflammation on your brain still. Your brain hasn't shrunken back down. You might have a headache. Your brain is still holding this fluid, and it hasn't eliminated all this fluid, and it's causing you brain fog. You're tired now. You're groggy. You know, if you can tone down your inflammation, you'll be able to wake up at whatever time you want, like feeling decent. I can't say full energy, but say for the first hour or however long it takes, you're going to start to wake up and you're going to start to feel good if you can keep your inflammation to zero. So by sleeping, by eating the right foods, avoiding the wrong foods, because a lot of food is going to cause inflammation. Gluten is something I used to kind of be like, yeah, it's probably all right. But if you think about the history of human evolution, we haven't really had this gluten protein as a part of our food source. Bread and these super easy processed carbohydrates, simple sugars. We haven't had these foods in our diet. If they were in our diet, they weren't maybe as processed as much. They weren't as readily available. That's why you're seeing a lot of people who are getting sick I think. And it has to do with not only gluten, that could be a thing that's disrupting your gut. It's something that the body's not used to, causing inflammation. Sugar, that's another thing that's going to inflame your body. So by avoiding these foods that are going to cause you inflammation, you're going to get away from the brain fog. By eating the right foods, eating foods that are anti-inflammatory. And we can get into some anti-inflammatory. It's just basically going to alleviate the inflammation. So like I said, some inflammation is good. Working out, you don't want to necessarily blunt that inflammation, but if you're just want to get into a space of healing for your body, you want to eat anti-inflammatory foods. Things like lemon, garlic, turmeric, curcumin, ginger. These are going to be foods that are anti-inflammatory. Coffee, anti-inflammatory, as long as you're not putting the sugar and the I can't really say cream. Cream's probably not so bad, but the sugar is the thing that's probably going to get you inflamed. But either way, coffee, anti-inflammatory. Tea, and lots of other good teas also are anti-inflammatory. So add anti-inflammatory foods into your diet, because that's really going to help you. I often say, living in America and just the quality of the food sources, you got to think about the foods. Even you go to like Myers or whatever, like personally, I buy these apples. They're like genetically modified apples, I know, but they're good. And I know they probably don't have as much nutrients as say like a normal apple would. That's why it's good, I think, to supplement. And then I personally feel like you should constantly be in a state of detoxification. So breathing, deep breathing of the lungs, not smoking things, not putting things into your lungs. It's not going to help you. Not drinking alcohol, avoiding those things as much as you can. Eating the right foods. That's going to help you to avoid that inflammation. And to add these anti-inflammatory things, anti-inflammatory foods, anti-inflammatory practices, that could be yoga, is probably going to be anti-inflammatory for you. To exercise, breathing, meditation, things that are going to calm you down, alleviate the stress and the inflammation of the body. Sleeping. A lot of these things are free. You can also add on top of that the different phytonutrients and food complexes that are going to be anti-inflammatory as well, that are going to keep you in a state of detoxification. Because as much food as we have the readily availability to, I can just go get Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and it's everywhere. You're going to eat some of it, but if you're constantly detoxifying, you're going to get it out of your system, and that's going to help. That's going to be good. You don't want that stuff stacking up and compounding, because you got to think about it. The man who ate the cheeseburger and then his heart stopped, that cheeseburger alone didn't kill him. That single cheeseburger didn't kill him. It was the compounding effect of all those multiple cheeseburgers over the years and whatever additives and whatever foods that they're putting in, or chemicals or whatever that they're putting in. And maybe he's not detoxifying at all. So if you can kind of intox, you drink your sugar, whatever you do, and then you detox as well, drink your lemon, do some exercise, you can kind of keep a nice balance here, rather than just detoxification, slowly compounding, building cancer. So stay detoxed up. I stay detoxed up, man. I say stay detox. Eat foods that are going to detoxify the body. All right, so this is going to be the last one that I want to get into, which is going to be sleep and cortisol, or stress and cortisol. We already kind of covered it, but basically, stress, you don't want to stress yourself. That's why it's important to breathe. But also, this could be holding you guys back, is a lot of people are over-exercising. A lot of people are stressing themselves out. I like to think of training and fat loss and gaining muscle just health optimization in this fitness realm is 4 different things. Fitness, or first of all, you got mindset, number 1. Training, nutrition, and then lastly, recovery. So if you're not recovering or you're not doing mindset, which most people, they kind of just think, okay, training is fitness, or training or fitness and losing weight is just training and nutrition. That's all I need to do. And most of the time they skip out on mindset and they skip out on recovery. And I think recovery is going to be one of the most important things. So by properly recovering, because most people, we want to get up, we want to go to the gym. All right, I got a goal. We're going to lose 10 pounds in the next month. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do 2-day workouts every single day, 2-hour workouts. And what's happening is, and I'm going to wake up early and skip my sleep so that I can go work out. And you think, yeah, I'm working out. I should be getting in shape. But you got to understand the body is a adaptation machine, and it's going to compensate by whatever you're doing. If you're constantly destroying yourself, if you just damage, and you're just recovering not enough to keep up with that damage, then you're not going to get results. You're not going to lose fat. You're not going to gain muscle mass. So get your sleep, get your rest, get your recovery, because that is actually where you're going to get the results. You're not losing weight necessarily as you go and run or as you hit the weights. And that's not when you're building the muscle. You're building the muscle when you're sleeping, when your body's partitioning these nutrients and everything that you gave to it the day before. That's when you repair and you replenish and you rebuild. You tear your muscle fibers and then you rebuild them back up as you sleep and with the food that you eat. So make sure that you're getting your rest. Prioritize rest. Get your hours of sleep, because that is when you're actually rebuilding. That's when you're actually losing body fat. Your body's putting the nutrients and things, moving things around, is when you're sleeping. So make sure that you're sleeping. Make sure that you're not overdoing it. You don't have to overdo it. I can say maybe you probably need to overtrain, because more people probably undertrain. Honestly, they don't train enough. So most people probably need to overtrain, honestly. But some people, I've been there too myself, you're training too much. You're doing 2-a-day workouts. You're doing cardio and you're doing strength training for 5 days a week. And then you're crashing hard over the weekend, maybe giving up or whatever. Or maybe having problems staying consistent. You need to find something that you can do consistent and that's intense. So you want to have a certain level of intensity, but you also want to have a certain level of recovery. I'd say more recovery than the intensity, so that you can keep up with your workouts, and something that's maintainable. So in my program, what I like to get my clients to do is just 2 to 4 strength training, intense strength training sessions per week. That's really all you need. Probably strength train really intense, maybe 2-3 times a week. It doesn't take much, and you can see great results. So if you're kind of hard driving, I want to get results, kind of slow it down, dial it back, focus on recovery. When you hit the gym, focus on hitting it hard, and focus on your recovery, sleeping, eating, doing the right things. And another thing is avoid food before you go to sleep. I used to do this too, like just eat and then go to sleep. You wake up. What's happening? You're waking up groggy. What's happening is you're eating, but you're not giving your body the time to digest the food. Your body can't do 2 things at once. You can't eat and digest. You can't digest your food and sleep. It's not going to work like that. It takes a lot of energy to digest that food. So it's good to eat 3-4 hours before you go to sleep. And then while you sleep, instead of digesting food, your body can replenish, rebuild. Instead of focusing and putting all this energy into digesting and not recovering, that is going to get you great results, and you're also going to feel good. You're not going to wake up with that grogginess in the morning. That was something that I used to do maybe just 6 months ago, probably I've been doing this, not eating before I go to sleep or trying not to. And I notice that I feel really good when I wake up in the morning. The food is digesting. I'm having good bowel movements and everything's coming out smooth. So, don't eat before you go to sleep. So, I'll dive back in next week with sleep, how to increase your sleep, how to get great quality sleep. Quantity might not be as important. You might just need high quality sleep, how to improve the quality of your sleep. We can talk about that next week. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, I'm about to sign out. It's been great. I got some stuff I'm about to take care of. Hopefully you guys are all having an awesome Saturday. Enjoy. And take care of yourself, man. We got 6 months until summer is here. Not even that. So with that, it's your boy, Professor Ill Will, William Taylor, CEO of New Wave Coaching. And we'll see you guys next week. Be smooth. Peace.